Last night on Nightline on another network, President Obama made a claim that deserves careful scrutiny. Take a listen.
I guarantee you it's going to be a close election because the fact is that the economy is not where it wants to be. And even though I believe that all the choices we've made have been the right ones, we're still going through difficult circumstances.
We're still going through difficult circumstances. Okay, have all the choices he's made been the right ones? Who better to ask than a libertarian entrepreneur with his finger on the pulse of the economy, O.co CEO Patrick Byrne. Charlie Gasparino challenged me to say that 5 times fast in a row. O.co CEO. Welcome here, Patrick.
Thank you, Judge.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Does the president know what he's talking about when he says the choices he's made on the economy have been the right ones? Come on.
Well, the choices have not been the right ones. I try not to be a bayonet the wounded kind of guy, but no, the choices that we're making, we're giving opium lollipops to cancer patients. That's basically the economic plan here.
A recent Gallup, a USA Today Gallup poll asked who's to blame for the poor economy. 30% said big financial institutions. 64% said the government. So how is it that the president thinks he can wrap his arm around the young people that are occupying Wall Street and say, they're for me?
Well, he shouldn't be able to reasonably, and as I think we've discussed before, I view it as the problem is in France, the government took over the banks in the early 80s. In the U.S., just the opposite has happened. The banks have really taken over the government. So I think it's kind of a fool's errand to try to say which is really at fault. It's an oligarchy, and we're having what happens in oligarchies. Argentina, Russia, the elites lever up the system. It crashes. They get bailed out. President Obama, when the Occupy Wall Street movement started, I was down there yesterday, met some fine people.
Right.
You
saw a lot of those Don't Tread on Me.
Yeah, I saw some of those, saw a lot of, when they started, they didn't like President Obama, but there's very clearly an effort being made to hijack Occupy Wall Street, whose original purpose, I think, was good, sort of protesting the influence of Wall Street. They're trying to hijack it.
Does Wall Street have any better friend than Washington, D.C.?
No. Wall Street has, well said, Wall Street has no better friend than Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is giving them free money. The interest rates for that are zero.
Why does the government want to bail out the big banks? When these people say they didn't bail out me, they have a legitimate argument to make. You and I believe in no bailouts, but why does the government fall for giving taxpayer dollars or money borrowed in their name to big banks?
Well, it's surreal. It's a mistake. It's the same mistake other countries have made, and it isn't they fall for it intellectually. It's that the Wall Street has taken the time to go and, over the years, they've bought their own personal senators and congressmen and regulators. So when they get in trouble, they can make they got the senator on speed dial. They make the phone call and they get the bailout. And it's happened, in 82, and 87, and 91, and 97. We just keep bailing them out.
Which of the Republican presidential candidates, if elected, would put a stop to this, and which would permit it to continue?
Ron Paul would definitely put a stop to it. I'm actually growing fond of her, and Gary Johnson. I happen to have met Governor Johnson before. I live in Utah. He's a fine fellow. Herman Cain, I think, would show some backbone, but ultimately, I'm a Ron Paul guy.
And why are you a Ron Paul guy?
Limited government, free individuals. That's the right principles.
We need a game changer. You agree with that?
I do.
And the game changer would say if you make a bad economic decision, whether you're mom and pop or whether you're J.P. Morgan Chase, you're going to live with the consequences of your own decisions.
Especially if you're J.P. Morgan Chase, especially if you're a big financial institution. And the more we bail them out, they've learned is going to keep doing it and privatizing the profits and socializing the loss.
Patrick Byrne, O.co CEO. It's a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Judge.
Once upon a time, the titans of Wall Street opened their wallets to get President Obama elected, but today that money and support are going elsewhere. A recent analysis from the Center for Responsive